This video is sponsored by VIPSCDKey.com. VIPSCDKey.com is a marketplace website where you can purchase game keys and software keys with no hassle. VIPSCDKey.com offers a legit Windows 10 key for only $22 and Windows 11 key for $32. This is the same keys I use on my PC builds. But to make it more awesome, they'll be giving another 25% discount. Just type our coupon code XTNC to get it for only $16 for Windows 10 key and $23 for Windows 11 key. You now have your legit Windows 10 or 11 key license all set, but in a more affordable price. If you're in the Philippines, purchasing is very easy. You can use PayPal or Maya. Visit VIPSCDK.com now. I'll put the link in the video description below. So thank you VIPSCDK.com for sponsoring this video. Naghahanap ka ba ng graphics card na gagamitin for gaming at least at 1440p? Or maybe run some titles at 4K resolution as well without totally breaking the bank? What we now have here is the PALIT RTX 4070 Super JetStream 12GB graphics card, which is positioned towards 1440p gaming pero kaya din ng 4K gaming with the help of features like DLSS 3. Sulit kaya ito? Let's find out in this video. In the box, you'll find 16-pin to 2x8-pin adapter, which is useful if your power supply doesn't have native support for the new 16-pin 12V high power connector, as well as the graphics card itself. The RTX 4070 Super features NVIDIA's Adel Lovelace architecture, which includes their 3rd generation RT cores and 4th generation Tensor cores, which makes features like DLSS 3, ray tracing, video encoding, decoding, and other NVIDIA features possible. Meron 12GB of GDDR6X video memory paired with a 192-bit memory bus and PCIe Gen 4 support. Base core clock speed nitong PALIT RTX 4070 Super Jetstream OC natin is around 1980 MHz, while its boost clock naman is at 2640 MHz. For reference, the Founders Edition's boost clock is only at 2475 MHz. Board power is at 245 watt, so PALIT recommends at least a 750 watt power supply to pair this thing with. And for the card's design, you'll notice that it comes in a jet black color with geometric black patterns, which according to PALIT is a performance-focused and stealthy approach design. Hence, there's no RGB lighting at all. It occupies 3.1 PCI slot in terms of height, so this is definitely a thicker card. The card weighs around 1.434 kilograms, so not really that heavy. There are triple Gale Hunter fans which have unique winglets on the fan tail and a unique fan blade design which they call the Gale Talon. All of which help the fans to perform better in terms of cooling, noise, and performance. Meron din itong 0dB technology which stops the fans from spinning kapag wala masyadong load sa card for more silent operation. May cutouts din sa backplate to enable better heat dissipation. There's also the fins that are molded with turning angles to deflect air, which helps to enlarge the contact area between air and the fins, as well as an ultra-wide copper base and the so-called anti-gravity plate, which is a metal plate that helps to protect the board from bending. This card is now using the new 16-pin 12V high power connector and medyo recessed or nakapaloob din yung power connector nito, which is what we have seen na din on the other 40 series RTX cards, which is a good thing since the cables would not interfere with the side panels when the graphics card is already mounted on the motherboard and the case. For its display connection options, we have 3 DisplayPort 1.4a and 1 HDMI 2.1a. And now on the benchmarks. Since this is a card positioned towards higher end performance, we will be focusing on 4K and 1440p resolutions on our tests. We've also tested DLSS 3 and ray tracing so that we have an idea about its performance when these enhancements are enabled. First, at 1440p, all at the maximum settings available and without any enhancements. We can see that our average FPS on all the games here are way beyond 60 FPS, with their average 1% and 0.1 percentile FPS are almost all near or similar in figures. Of course, the higher the better experience. Games such as CS2, F122, and Forza Horizon 5 will definitely perform well here, while heavier games such as Assassin's Creed Mirage, Cyberpunk 2077, Spider-Man Remastered, and Starfield have also good average FPS figures. While at 4K resolution, same maximum preset settings, the much lighter titles like CS2, F122, Forza Horizon 5, and Assassin's Creed Mirage have an average of way beyond the 60 FPS playable threshold, with Spider-Man Remastered barely passing 60 FPS. Of course, games like Starfield and Cyberpunk 2077 will have a hard time reaching that 60 FPS mark since napakabigat nitong mga larong ito on raw rendering. And this is where features like DLSS will shine. So enabling DLSS and ray tracing on some games, here we can see the difference between those features turned on and off, as well as both DLSS and RT combined. As we can see here at 1440p resolution, if we only turn on ray tracing without any form of DLSS for Cyberpunk 2077, it is definitely unplayable at only around 24 FPS average. Though in F122, it is still playable at around 81.3 FPS average. So when you enable DLSS, either DLSS 2 or DLSS 3, mas magiging mataas yung FPS nung mga games, making it more playable. Based on this figure so far, it's recommended to turn on DLSS if you really want higher frame rates and better gaming experience overall, whether you choose to turn on ray tracing or not. Trying on 4K resolution as well, I think we can safely say na it's the same story as well. If you want to game on this resolution, you should definitely turn on at least DLSS in order for you to have a better experience. And for some synthetic benchmarks, here we have the 3D Mark Timespy Extreme scores, where our GPU got 10,016 on the graphics score, while on the V-Ray GPU benchmark, CUDA scored 2,232, while on the RTX benchmark scored 3,075. In terms of thermals on this card, okay lang din. When gaming on a 30-minute run with F122, we got an average of 56.9 degrees Celsius and a maximum of only 66 degrees inside the case with the side panel closed, which means the card's cooling solution is definitely working and there's a lot of headroom left in terms of temperature. And in terms of the fan noise, medyo audible siya, especially at high load or high speed. Pero you can always tune the fan curves naman according to your preference. As I see it, the RTX 4070 Super is actually a good option if you're targeting to game at 1440p resolution with high frame rates, along with the possibility to handle some game titles at 4K, especially with DLSS 3 enabled. And for the PALIT RTX 4070 Super JetStream 12GB, here I think this is a good card in terms of cooling performance. Its design could be a hit or miss for some, but I think it's nice to have an option where there is no RGB and just overall colored black, which is ideal for stealthy team builds. So Xtian, sulit ba itong bilhin? From my perspective, if you're coming from the older RTX 20 series cards or even the GTX series ones and you're upgrading, I think yes. Especially kung gusto nyo yung mga features like DLSS 3, which had a big improvement in terms of upscaling power, which would also result to higher performance gains, GPU acceleration for content creation, as well as other NVIDIA specific features. And kung di ka naman mag-upgrade and you just want to target 1440p gaming at all, yes then ang answer natin dito. And for the price of around 40,000 pesos, considering what you'll get in terms of performance, I think this is not bad at all, as this is one of the cheaper RTX 4070 Super models that you can find.